Good afternoon. My name is Tony McCarthy and I'm a weight loss coach, and I specialise in helping men and women who are struggling with getting off their medications, getting laid, feeling sexy in their clothes, getting the best shape of their life. And Jim, I've worked with 1,000 people so far in my life, and I've met some really colourful, interesting people, and Coach Nick is one of them. And so today we're going to share a little bit of his journey, and why his journey is so special is because he went from 18 stone down to 10 stone, and the journey that he went along the way is just really revelationary, and it's a real testament to what you can do when you set your mind to it. And I think this is one of the great things he shares with his clients, is that he's very relatable. And if you've ever been a bit of a geezer and you've been out on the limb and you need some advice on how to get through life, then Nick has been through it. He's got all the hacks and he's going to share some stuff with us today. So Nick, how you doing? All right?
I'm good, mate. I'm good.
Lovely, jubbly. Good to see you.
Actually. I can't get a decent laptop position. I'm at my mum's house because my baby's running around at mine. I couldn't get 5 minutes, and I'll try and get a decent view. But
I love it. Yeah, we've all got kids. Yeah, we've all grown up now. So Nick, I suppose a nice place to start is like a little bit about where you started. You know, like how you sort of got to getting into the fitness industry. So, and maybe if you take us on that like hero journey. So, where was the problems that you went through, the struggles that you had, who you met on the way, and then the like life tips that you've discovered, and then your transformation that you are now. So if we just go through that sort of general, template, and I'm sure we'll have a lot of information for everybody in the world. Cool. The ground's yours. So where'd you start?
Well, I mean, I've always been into health and fitness. I was in athletics, in tennis, everything at school, just a light sport. Then growing up, I'm a twin as well, identical twin, and I'm slightly bigger than my brother, and I was always known as the fat one. So that caused some pretty bad psychological problems going through school. So I'm the fat one. And then went through college and all that lot, and then got a job in Soho, and I just thought I was the nuts. I'm working in Soho, all these little towny boys and I used to think I was better than people for working in Soho, but doing that, got into the party lifestyle, ended up using cocaine, probably for about 3 years. I was just trapped in this never-ending circle of shit. Yeah. And then the problem got really bad, and I got up to about 5 grams a day for the last 3 to 6 months, and I was a mess. And the missus at the time said that she was pregnant, and I'd read this little article years ago in one of them silly little magazines, I don't know, the paper ones, like Now magazine or something like that. And it was about this bodybuilder, and he used to come home after doing steroids and at the gym, and then he'd cuddle his little baby. And apparently the little baby started to grow pubes. And I was like, this logged in my head when I was about 9 years old. I never forgot it because it was so bizarre. But then I thought, if I'm having a baby and I'm doing cocaine, I'm sweating that shit out into my body. So when he was born, I still hadn't got off of it, and I couldn't touch him. And I was like, I can't put my naked skin on my arms or anything on my baby, otherwise you'll get coke. She's like, I was. So I did loads of stuff to stop that. And yeah, I got off it in the end. But in that time, because the dealer would come out about 12 o'clock in the day, and I'd be up in my office doing flipping Charlie till midnight, 1, 2 in the morning. I'd sleep on the post bags round the corner in the office, get up in the morning, go to the gym, get a shower and try and start work again. But I would just eat. It was like it numbed my senses in my stomach. So I'd have burgers, I'd have, do you remember Snapple fruit punch? Drink that like that water, yeah. Ice cream, just anything to make me feel good until we come again and I could get my Coke. So I piled on so much weight. I was like saying to you before, I used to wear double XL Maharishi bottoms, which are like parachute bottoms. And if I bent over to pick something up, they split up the bum, 180 pound down the drain. And it got to that point when I couldn't go on. I needed to do it for my little boy. So yeah, I got myself a personal trainer. I'm going to drop him here, Sven Hammer. He's at the gym box, I think, in Charing Cross. Saved my life. And I learned a bit more about fitness and nutrition, a bit about boxing. Then I started doing them workouts on my own because I couldn't afford him anymore. Then I
And
joined.
just to like recap, so you was in a bit of a desperate position, and what was it that was like the turning point for you, where you thought, right, I've got to do something about it? Was it the realization that you was gonna give your child, like a cocaine addiction? Is that what it was, or was there like,
Yeah,
yeah,
as well, just thinking I'm going to be a dad. We've got to grow up soon. I can't be missing for 3 or 4 days, living
yeah,
in flipping Soho, and not going home. And I need to be a dad to this boy. It's my
yeah,
first kid, so it was just a massive poof sledgehammer that said
yeah,
you've got to change. But it weren't that easy to change. It
no,
wasn't. It was addictive substance, and getting off it. I mean, I had
yeah,
to phone up one of the dealers and say, I'm going to call the police on you if you give me any more thingies. So I was walking around Soho shitting myself, thinking I'm going to get attacked by some drug dealer.
yeah, yeah,
um, and then I text all the friends that I used to hang out with and just said, you're a load of shit. I don't like you anymore. So to make sure that I had no one to hang out with and no one to supply drugs anymore. So then it was all about trying to, I've been to the doctors as well. I had gout. The doctor basically said, you're so unhealthy, if you don't change, you're going to die.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, what else I had? A stomach acid reflux, really bad. I had to have an
yeah.
operation for that. It just ruined
So,
me.
like, a day in your life is you're enjoying yourself, didn't think nothing of it. It's just having the time of your life. You then all of a sudden get this surprise, like life changing moment that you're gonna have a child,
Yeah,
and then you look in the mirror, and what used to stare back, it was Charlie Go Lucky is now like pretty much overweight, verging on obese, bursting out of his clothes. Has probably looked at his bank account and smashed through an absolute ton of money. He's worried about giving a cocaine addiction to his child. On top of that, you've got gout, and you've been told by your doctor now that you're actually in serious trouble. And you have this sort of moment of clarity then, where you're like, right, I better do something about this. And
yeah,
so, if I'm hearing you right, feels like you're saying that you sort of took stock of your situation, and you had like a road. You had two paths that you could have went down,
yeah,
and you could have went fuck it and kept on going and went, you know what, bollocks to the kid, bollocks to the job. I'm just going to keep going, and you made a decision to do something about it. It wasn't the easiest one, because it never is it? But then, so like you went straight into the gym and you met the personal trainer, and was that like the first thing you thought? Right, I better get myself fit and healthy. And no, I tell you what you did. You went and you detoxified your environment. So you looked at all
yeah,
the things that were toxic to you, so the people, the behaviours, and the environment. And so I think by the looks of things, you did like a sweep clean of your house, brushed out all of the toxic leaves. And am I right in thinking that once you'd done that, then it was like, right, time to get myself fit and healthy, and you used that as like a route to rebuild yourself?
yeah, 100%. I mean, I also had, I worked with the same guy for the 20 years that I worked at that company, and he was like my best friend. And I found out that he made inquiries on how to get rid of me. And that like broke my heart. It was like, I've pissed off my best mate. He wants to get rid of me. It's that bad.
Yeah.
I'm sleeping at
The
work
collateral
as well.
damage. Yeah.
Yeah. And so all those things together just said, is it worth it anymore?
Yeah.
Like, is it really worth it?
Yeah.
And yeah, moment of clarity. I think they say it in Pulp Fiction, don't they? I had
That's
a
it.
moment
Yeah.
of clarity, and God
Yeah.
stepped in maybe, or something like that, and just went, no, this is
Yeah.
not for you.
And so then you got into, so you've done a little bit of a detox, you've had a moment of clarity, you've done a bit of a detox, you felt right, I deserve better, or at least I don't deserve this crap. Sometimes what we often say to our clients is, hey, look at what you don't want. And I think you certainly looked at what you had, and you didn't want that anymore, or the
Yeah.
consequences of it. And so then by the looks of things, you started to work out what you did want. And maybe that was a bit of a slow, it revealed itself to you.
Yeah.
At what point did you decide that getting fit and healthy was part of that journey? Was it you looking back and going, right, I used to be fit and healthy, now I want to get that feeling back? Or was it like a rewiring? Was it like a totally new experience for you?
I felt so uncomfortable being fat, and I knew people were laughing at me, and I had it in that head again, like the fat one, the fat twin.
Wow.
And it was just to the point, the belly was hanging over. I just didn't feel like me anymore. And I you know, that I knew that was a direct result of all the drugs and the eating. So yeah, I think I forgot something actually. I did a detox. It was called the lemon detox.
Yeah.
And it was this can of tree syrup. It was called Madal Bow fucking tree syrup. And you put like that much in the bottom of a bottle of water, and that was brown. And then you added a little bit of something else. I can't remember. It was cayenne pepper. And that's all you had for 7 days, water and tree syrup. Like I was on day 7, I was walking around like a zombie, but I lost a stone, a whole stone in that week, and it never went back on. So that, and then I went to go and see a fitness trainer because I wanted those results to keep going, because I knew I'd just put it all back on again if I didn't do something about it.
Amazing that it was that crucial to you to fix yourself, that you went to the extent of going through a lemon and water and cayenne pepper diet detox, which is quite extreme, and you know, like it has its place, I guess, if you're up in the mountains of Thailand. What part of London, which grovelling London were you in when you went through that?
Street. Was it Wardour Street?
Wardour Street. Well, we're all the best hanger. Bless you.
It was really hard, but I knew I needed to do something, and I am quite an extreme person. I don't know if you are as well. I'm all or nothing. I'm all in for it. And if I was doing 7 days, I was going to do the 7 days. Yeah. And I did actually do that detox 2 or 3 more times, which is why product drop it, which is why I do a detox for people.
Yeah.
Because I know that people who are in pain, they want a quick fix. And I know you only lose like a load of crap at your colon and some water and stuff, but I didn't put that weight back on. So I can't say, oh, if I only lost the crap in my colon and a bunch of water, well, how come I kept going down and down in weight? It was that
it kickstarted you. By the looks of things, it like at least gave you the self-confidence, the motivation. And, you know, sometimes I say to people, you know, like the best thing to start off with is just getting some results fast, you know, because you just want to supplement your journey with a few notches in the post and get them in there quick, the quicker they are. So I feel like you sort of got some good notches and you're like, right, let's smash this out. Okay, right, I can get back to who I am. So do you want to tell us maybe like some of the achievements, some of the struggles that you had getting in shape? So between getting the trainer, some of the things, like I know you did training for 10 sessions and then you stopped. So that in itself was the struggle, having to go from having advice to not having it there next year, and then how you carried on and what you did, and then any of the struggles that got in the way that threw you off kilter and how you brought yourself back on. Is that all right then?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I was pretty much focused after losing that first stone. Then Sven gave me these workouts and I wrote them all down. So I'd go back into the gym even when I wasn't having him as my trainer and replicate those workouts. Then I don't know if you know, when the grenade pills first came out, they came in a grenade canister. I used to whack a load of them down, get really boiling hot and sweat out more. I was just going for it. And then when I think I waited 3 months, done another detox. And I mean, obviously bad habits and boredom eating and the snack foods that I used to eat, I'd still drink Snapple because I loved it. But then I had my best mate, who was my boss as well. And like, let's just do a plate of fruit. And so in the mornings, I just cut up fruit for us. And I don't know that I did really get thrown off track. I then, before I started the Thai boxing, I tried Krav Maga, and that was just weird. It was in Notting Hill. My partner wore pants and deck shoes, and we were wrestling. I was like, why don't you put some clothes on? Anyway, he freaked me out. So what I really always wanted to start was Thai boxing, because it was the hardest sport. And I knew, but I was scared as well. And I was bullied as a kid. So I think that's why I've always been interested in fighting and martial arts and stuff. But yeah, once I started at Code Kickboxing Gym in Bethnal Green, another plug.
That's right.
I was hooked on it. And what it is as well, it was like an army atmosphere in there. We were all there for the same thing. And I felt like I was just with almost like, what do they call it? What did Ted Bundy create? No, not Ted Bundy. The one that took them all out into the mountains, like a sect, like a cult. There you go. I felt like I was in a cult. of people
Ted Bundy. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but yeah, it wasn't Ted Bundy, but yeah.
But yeah, I just felt like I was in with these people who were all into just wanting to smash the life out of each other. And for some reason, I just felt like it was like my home. And the weight loss just came off after that more and more.
And so from to recap then, so like you've had the moment of clarity, you've looked at yourself, you went, right, I don't want to be unfit, I don't want people laughing at me, I don't want to be that fat person anymore. Had you set yourself sights on what you did want at that moment, or was you just running away from what you didn't want? Like, did you know you wanted to be 10 stone, or was it just, I don't want to be fat anymore?
I didn't believe that I could be 10 stone. I was probably 12 and a half when, as a normal weight. And I did some of these, like, again, these detoxes, and my missus bought me a pair of Maharishi bottoms, but in a medium and in, I think, is it called moleskin or mohair or something like that? Mohair, I don't know what they're called, but they weren't stretchy. And after this detox, I put them on and they fit. And I was like, fuck. This is awesome. I am so, and then I just wanted to get thinner and thinner then, because of the, being called the fat one, I just suddenly wanted to get even more thin, but knowing I could fit into that medium. I always say to my clients as well, get yourself a Wish shirt or a Wish pair of jeans or something that don't stretch, that one day you'll put on and you'll go, I'm in it. And
Great tip. I think that's a really pivotal point, is that along the journey, sometimes we can, future pace ourselves and think about what we want and say, right, I want to be the guy that's getting all the girls, or I want to be the guy that's in a top. But actually, sometimes it's just, I don't want to be that dude anymore. And if I'm moving away from that, that's good enough. But then what you did is you actually also had in these micro, like, flags of achievement. So it's like, right, I can fit in these clothes now. And then you're like, oh, right, okay. And that's another sort of notch on the belt of like, right, I can do a little bit more and I can keep going further. And what it looked to me is like you sort of got the ball rolling with a professional, and they sort of got it going out the door. And then you was like, right, okay, it is a bit lumpy, but I'm still interested in this. And because you'd also shown interest in it, so you did your extracurricular work, didn't you? It's not like you just went to the gym for the coach. You went for the gym to the coach for like the high fives and the plan, but then you went and did your own work, which was a good sign of you getting some skin in the game. So you've got some skin in the game financially, you got it in there spiritually and cognitively, and then you did it physically. You actually turned up and did what you had to do. And then what happened is you got to like this next stage where you was like, right, how do I create an environment where actually I'm around people that are in this all the time and I can enjoy being fit and healthy, which is where you started doing the Thai boxing and the Krav Maga and then the Thai boxing, which is, I think that's a really important part of that long-term sustainable approach, isn't it? It's like, hey, listen, if you want to stay fit and healthy, you need to go through the process of being coached to get to a point where you actually are now self-maintaining, isn't it? Like you're on like autopilot, and create an environment, having people around you that are into the things that you want to do is a big part of it. Because I find sometimes a lot of our, like a lot of people that we deal with, either they want to just pay for a coach all the time, and it's like the coach's responsibility, right? So I'll do 4 sessions a week, but it's all with the coach, and it's all on the coach to make sure.
Yeah.
And so they miss out on that responsibility and actually sort of enjoying it. And then I also find that some people sort of get to the end of a coaching program and they're like, right, I'm done now. And then they go off back to their normal life. And you're like, you're like, you've just got to the starting line. That's all it is. You're not finished. You're at the, the gun's about to go off. So I think that's a really, really good tip that you've got there for people. Is like, once you've got a little bit of progress, keep it going, keep moving. And then, so, like, I suppose now you're in a situation where you can keep yourself fit and you've learned how to sort of inspire people to if they're going in this, if they're in the same situation, to sort of follow your footsteps. Would it be fair to say that that's like your like niche market? You're like helping, blokes who are doing a lot of cocaine that are a bit lost, or men and women that are a bit lost and want to get in shape. Do you feel like you've got a bit of a sort of, you're
relatable, definitely. And because I've been there, I know the things to expect. I know where they're going to fall off, etc. yeah, I just feel like the more people are like I was, if someone comes to me and they're 12 stone and they want to just get leaner down to 11, that's like, okay, that's easy peasy.
Yeah.
And my heart's not in it as much as someone who's just like, I'm fucking desperate, I need help.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's where that's
and
why.
So I suppose I'm going to sort of maybe give you a business idea, or maybe you're already doing it, but it sounds like there's some sort of, really cool boot camp on the horizon for you, where you have all these people and they progress through the coaching, doing it themselves, they get to the point, and then they get involved in the tribe. We'll call it tribe, not cult, if that's all right. But I totally get what you're talking about. Yeah. So what have you got, like a tribe that you're building at the moment? Is there a place where your tribe meets? Are you connecting people in the community or anything like that?
I've tried a lot of these things, especially with Facebook groups, and I go from going for men only to then everyone, and then to just a women's group or something like that. But the questions that go on in them groups happen 50 times a day, and it's like I can't answer these people all this time. And I found the group was quite hard to maintain. I'm going to be putting on a free group soon, and then also a group that goes with my sort of coaching program, or people go through that 8-week course that I do, and then I'll expand that. I'm looking to get a fitness app sorted out, and that will have a community within that, and that will be people to sort of pay monthly, and that's where my 3-step journey is detox 8 weeks, so you get a quick win, a slower win, but a lot more weight gone, and then it's maintenance. So that's where I want to go, and I want the tribe to be in the maintenance group.
Lovely, right? Well, I look forward to sort of coming down, and I mean, hopefully you can do some live events. Are you going to do some Thai kickboxing over like live broadcasts or anything like that?
I don't know. It's weird. I mean, I teach Thai boxing to people as well, so it's not just weight. All the different things like gym, weights, Thai boxing, boxing, they're all just like ways of getting to means to an end, aren't they? So I don't know that I want to do a Thai boxing one. Do you know what I've learned from social media? How many negative people just come up on your comments and say bad stuff, and I'm like, well, I don't deserve this. I'm trying to help you.
Bless them.
I don't know about maybe with the Thai boxing thing. I like the idea of a boot camp.
I think it feels like that will be, it feels like your journey, and if you should just go, right, here's what my journey's like, and how can people go through it? Like you can be the cult leader.
Bundy.
Stay. It just, you'll be doing all this, you can't come near me. Right, so I digress, but I feel like that would be an exciting thing, and I think when certainly when we look at memberships, building the community is a very difficult thing now online, and I think if it's not like live online sort of live sessions that you're doing yourself, that you probably have someone doing it that you've trained up who loves it so much that they've got the time and energy, which is the struggle for business owners like you and I, is that, hey, listen, there's a lot of moving pieces to have a business going, and to, build company, market it, do the sales, nurture clients, look after clients, and then to have them, inside a sort of tribe where we're looking after them consistently long term. It's quite an exhaustive business. So any tips that I've got would just be, get like someone to work with as a business partner or something like that, or train some young guy up to work alongside you so that you can build them up, put them through your process, and then they can sort of work for you, do a couple of sessions a week and help out that way. It would just be
nice to have someone to talk to as well. I find it's like, PT's all good, we chat and everything, but someone working at the same goal as me, it's lonely being an entrepreneur. I've been on loads of, listened to loads of podcasts and stuff, and they're just like, it's proper lonely until you can afford to employ someone.
I'll tell you where I started. I started by going to colleges and giving talks at colleges, and specifically around like your story. Just tell that. And then at the end of it, say, look, I'm setting up an internship. If anybody wants to get some work experience, you're more than welcome. come along, do a boot camp. And I used to run boot camps in Shoreditch Park, and I have a young guy that would come up, and I'd give him like £10. And that was enough for a 16-year-old, 15-year-old or whatever. And he was learning, and he become a personal trainer. And the boot camp, everyone was paying between £5 and £10 for a session. So, I could afford it. Obviously, I had to get it going in the first place, but I think, there'd be enough people, even if it was online, there'd be enough people to pay at least a fiver. And if not, they can do it for free for the experience. So look, I think we can wrap it up there. Have you got any sort of like last sort of words of wisdom, maybe like your top 3 sort of hacks for getting off cocaine, setting yourself a goal and staying in shape?
Constant, consistent commitment. It literally, you have to visualize what you want, where and how important it is to you. I would also say write out a list of all the things that you're doing, and then go through like, if I don't stop this now, will I still be drinking alcohol 10 years down the line? How's that going to affect my kids? How's that going to affect my relationships? And just look at it and go, fuck, it's going to negatively impact everything, and go, well, you need to change now. But constant, consistent commitment. I say that to everyone, because if you take your eyes, same with social media. You come, you do a bunch of content, come off for a month and then go back on. You've got no followers. You just have to keep doing it. It's everything in life is like it's just a ladder, and you've got to take one step up the ladder at a time. Maybe some really good advice as well is don't look at the end goal when you're 18 stone to 10 stone. It's too much of a disconnect for you to visualize. Just think half a stone, and then we'll go half a stone, and then half a stone. What was it? How do you climb a mountain one step at a time, or how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? It's not going to happen overnight. So you just got to be in it and visualize the next steps.
Brilliant. Cool. So, Nick, thank you for all that. So if anybody wants your coaching or they want to find out more, tell us, like, what's your TikTok account? And
so TikTok is coachnick.coach. Instagram is I'm Coach Nick, and you can come and look me up. I'm Nick Paul Helm. That's NIC Paul Helm, HELM. That's on Facebook. That's my personal page, and I just put most of my stuff on there because I want people to know me.
Lovely, cool. So if anyone wants some help getting off the cocaine, staying focused on not overstretching themselves, and it sounds like they'd be in great company, and you're going to show them how to beat people up, if nothing else. Beat the addiction, beat your neighbour. Just don't beat off.
Get into a small cult.
Don't join a cult. Join a club. Nick, thank you very much. I've been Tony McCarthy, and I'd love you guys to sign up to my app, which is smartweightloss.co.com, and we'll be getting people in shape. I'm on a mission to save 1 million bodies over the next 5 years, Nick. So I'm really thankful for you joining me on this, and I'm sure we can start adding some numbers, and we'll start working together at some point in the future. So thank you very much, mate. Namaste. Go. I'm just going to